A lot of things went on, but as far as LeBron and Michael, if Michael played in this era, he'll average 50. He averaged 50 points. Michael is the greatest player ever. LeBron's a great talent, no doubt. He's probably one of the top 3 players ever played with Kobe, Magic, Kareem.
Kareem, when Dennis Rodman speaks, the whole basketball world stops and pays attention because this ain't some random TV analyst reading off stats. This is Dennis the Worm Rodman. One of the toughest dudes to ever step foot on the hardwood, the man who went to war every single night next to Michael Jordan. Rodman didn't just watch greatness, he lived it. He felt the fire, the pressure, and the championship grind up close. And now he's reigniting the debate that never dies. Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. And trust me, he didn't hold back for a second. Rodman came with that unfiltered heat only he can deliver. This isn't about numbers on a stat sheet, trophies stacked in a cabinet.
I just think that if you look at Michael, the body of work he's done over the years, you look at LeBron, the body of work he's done over the years. How many years? 17 now, going to 18?
Or fan polls online, this is about greatness, about legacy, about that one bar so impossibly high that even a legend like LeBron James might never touch it. And before we jump deep into Rodman's explosive takes and break down how it shakes up the legacies of MJ and LeBron, hit that subscribe button, smash a like, and get your thoughts off in the comments, because this one's about to get wild. See, NBA Showdown ain't soft. We give you the raw debates, the uncut opinions, and the truth about basketball's giants. No sugarcoating, no filters, just the fire that keeps the game alive. So let's talk about why Rodman swears Jordan would destroy today's NBA and why LeBron, as great as he is, still ain't touching that immortal level MJ set.
Michael is the greatest player ever.
Rodman starts by highlighting a fact nobody can ignore. The way Jordan and LeBron's careers played out couldn't be more different. He breaks it down like this. Jordan's greatness, explosive, brutal, untouchable, condensed into a run so perfect it feels like a highlight reel burned into history. Meanwhile, LeBron's journey, long, durable, stacked with crazy numbers, and stretched deep into his 17th and 18th seasons. Respect to that grind, no doubt it, but here's the part Rodman won't let slide. MJ never needed 2 decades to prove he was the king. In just over a decade, Jordan locked in 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 league MVPs, and a reputation as the coldest, most unstoppable force the NBA had ever seen. He didn't drag it out. He owned it, burned bright, and left a legacy that still makes players shake when his name comes up. Rodman makes it crystal clear, Jordan didn't need to pad his resume with endless years in the league because the intensity of his prime was so fierce it shook the game forever. He's saying straight up, it ain't about how long you last, it's about how high you soar when the lights are brightest. Jordan's legacy isn't measured in seasons played.
Michael's been injured one time. He never has to sit out.
It's measured in dominance. Every single year Jordan was at his peak, he squeezed out the absolute maximum. No wasted time, no filler seasons. Meanwhile, LeBron grinding through 17, 18 seasons is respectable, but Rodman paints it as survival, not supremacy. Jordan's body of work? Pure domination. He didn't just raise the bar, he set it at a level so insane that no amount of longevity could touch it. That's why Rodman starts here, to stage the entire debate. He reminds everyone that while LeBron's length and durability are historic, Jordan's impact was untouchable. One man stretched time, the other defined time. And that's why Jordan's standard still sits way above anyone else, even now.
And people don't realize when Michael Jordan's playing, I think the first 8, 9 years, he was barely making $3 million. Compared to these guys making $40 million.
Rodman doesn't sugarcoat, he cuts through the noise with raw honesty. Michael Jordan is the greatest player ever. And coming from Rodman, that ain't just another hot take, that's gospel. Remember, Rodman went toe-to-toe with legends and shared the court with MJ during the fiercest battles. He's not talking as a fan, he's talking as someone who bled with the man, who saw the grind, the practice sessions, the willpower, and the flat-out fear MJ put into opponents. So when Rodman says Jordan is the GOAT, it ain't some recycled cliche, it's lived truth.
A lot of things went on, but as far as LeBron and Michael, if Michael played in this era, he'll average 50. He averaged 50 points.
A truth carved into the DNA of the game itself. Jordan didn't just dominate basketball, he changed it. He turned the NBA into a worldwide spectacle, the model every superstar since has tried to follow. And let's be real, Even LeBron himself admits his hunger came from watching Jordan blaze that trail. And here's where Rodman drops the hammer. Fans might admit LeBron was inspired by Jordan, but some still try to crown him above the man he modeled himself after.
LeBron's a great talent, no doubt. He's probably one of the top 3 players ever played with Kobe, Magic, Kareem.
Rodman's words are the ultimate reality check. Greatness ain't just about racking up stats. It's about who redefined the entire game, who owned every matchup, who showed up under the brightest lights and never cracked under pressure. Jordan was that player, ruthless in approach, surgical in execution, and unstoppable in his hunger to win. He didn't just beat his opponents, he crushed them so bad there was no room left for doubt. That's why when Rodman says Michael is the greatest, it shakes louder than any analyst's take, because this is a man who lived it. He was on the court, in the grind, watching Jordan destroy legends in real time. Deep down, everybody knows the truth. Jordan is the standard. He's the measuring stick, and no one, not even LeBron, has cleared it. Then Rodman hits another angle, toughness. He points out something that separates Jordan from almost every modern superstar, his durability. Jordan only missed serious time once in his career. And even then, he didn't beg for rest, didn't sit out for weeks, didn't ask to manage his load. He came right back and kept hooping like nothing could stop him. This part stings because it calls out today's NBA culture, where load management is normal and stars sit for preservation. Jordan wasn't built that way. He played through pain, exhaustion, pressure, whatever, because he knew fans paid to see him, his squad depended on him, and history doesn't wait for excuses. The idea of skipping games for minor soreness or chilling during back-to-backs? To Jordan, that would have been blasphemy. His toughness set the tone for every teammate and put fear in every opponent, because they all knew MJ would be out there every single night, giving everything he had. That consistency is what made him untouchable. Now compare that with LeBron's era, where long breaks, load management, and carefully planned rest days are just part of the game. And to be fair, you can't fault LeBron for adapting to modern sports science. But that's exactly why Rodman's point hits so hard. Jordan was simply built different. He didn't just play basketball, he fought for every single minute on that court, chasing competition instead of convenience. That mentality is why his 6 championships came in such a concentrated, brutal stretch of dominance. No shortcuts, no hiding, no easy outs. Jordan's relentless durability is part of what made him untouchable. And Rodman brings that up to remind everybody that greatness ain't just about talent, it's about willpower, commitment, and refusing to ever take the easy way out. Think about it. Mike got seriously injured one time, and even then he never begged to sit out. That mindset alone put miles of separation between him and LeBron forever. Jordan didn't just demand respect through highlights, he earned it by being the guy you could trust to bleed, sweat, and grind every night. Every practice, every possession, every playoff run, he was all in. And when Jordan pushed his teammates, it wasn't about flexing power, it was about pulling them up to the same standard he lived by himself. That's why the respect was real, mutual, and forged in fire, not spun in press conferences or built off media hype. Now look at LeBron. Rodman points out how often the narrative around him leans on publicity, longevity talk, milestone hype, carefully crafted storylines. Jordan didn't need all that. Respect in his world was never requested, it was taken and exchanged through the grind. Rodman lays it bare. Jordan wasn't politicking behind the scenes. He wasn't maneuvering like some corporate CEO. He was a straight-up general demanding only 2 things: respect for his leadership and fair pay for his unmatched dominance. That's it. And that's why his aura still towers over the game today. And when those 2 boxes were checked, respect and fair pay, the result was nothing less than the most dominant dynasty the league has ever seen. Rodman breaks it down simple. Jordan never begged for anything else. He just wanted recognition for his grind and the paycheck to match. And that statement cracks open a truth about MJ's era that too many people overlook when they try stacking him up against today's stars like LeBron James. See, Jordan played most of his prime before the NBA became the billion-dollar empire it is now. This was before the monster shoe deals, before the record-breaking TV contracts, before global money poured in like it does today. Rodman reminds us that for nearly a decade, the man carrying the entire league on his back was making less than some role players collect right now. $3 million across 9 years. That's insane when you realize Jordan was elevating the NBA from a local pastime into a worldwide phenomenon. He didn't have supermax contracts. He didn't have player empowerment clauses. He wasn't scheming business moves mid-season. He was just out there hooping, winning, and turning basketball into a religion. Meanwhile, LeBron James has benefited from every dollar of that foundation MJ built. Every endorsement, every billion-dollar headline, every luxury label tied to his name, all of it exists because Jordan set the blueprint. Let's be real, Jordan made Nike what it is. He turned the NBA into must-watch TV across the globe. He gave today's players the leverage they flex now. But he never used his own power to whine about checks or distract himself with money drama. His mission was never luxury, it was legacy. Rodman's reminder completely crushes one of the biggest myths in this debate. People love to throw around LeBron's longevity or his billionaire portfolio as proof he's greater. But that's ignoring the context. Jordan didn't play in a money-soaked era where athletes cashed hundreds of millions in contracts. He was underpaid by today's standards. But he flipped every dollar he didn't get into fuel for his fire on the court. And here's the kicker. Jordan is still seen as the greatest player in history despite never having those modern riches. That fact alone proves greatness ain't about the size of your bank account or how many years you can stretch a career. It's about performance. It's about domination. Jordan's fire was never lit by dollar signs. It was fueled by championships, legacy, and the fear he burned into opponents every single night he stepped on the floor. I'm proud these guys make $40 million. That's classic Rodman right there, raw, unfiltered, and swinging straight at the LeBron versus Jordan debate with a hammer blow. And then he drops the bomb. If Michael Jordan played in today's NBA, he'd be averaging 50 points a game. 50! That ain't hype. That's straight up Rodman truth. Think about it. In Jordan's era, the league was a battlefield. Defenders could hand check, big men could knock you out of the air, and every trip into the paint felt like going to war. Yet Jordan still dominated, putting up 30 points per game across his career, winning 10 scoring titles and carving defenses that were literally built to stop him. Now picture that same assassin in today's NBA. A league designed to protect scorers. No hand checking, no bruisers clogging the paint with illegal defense, spacing wide open. Pace at full throttle, shooters stretching the floor to give slashers free lanes. Jordan would eat that alive. Modern rules outlaw the kind of punishment MJ took every night, and a player with his mid-range precision, his explosive first step, his freakish finishing, and his footwork, completely unstoppable. Rodman knows this firsthand. He battled Jordan in practice day after day, and he saw how defenders had to bend and break rules just to slow him down. So if you can't hand-check Jordan, can't knock him down, can't crowd his space, forget about it. He's giving you 40 by halftime and daring you to stop him. And don't sleep on the mindset. Jordan didn't just want to score, he wanted to break you. He wanted to take your will, embarrass you, make sure you left the court knowing you were second best. That's the difference Rodman draws between him and LeBron. For all of LeBron's greatness, he's a facilitator at heart. Pass first, sometimes too quick to give the ball up in killer moments. Jordan was the exact opposite. He lived to attack, he hunted those moments, and with today's rules, he'd exploit every inch of freedom, every foul call, every soft defensive adjustment, and he'd do it with fire in his eyes. Rodman isn't exaggerating. 50 points per game in this era is no fantasy. It's reality. Drop Jordan into today's NBA, and the result ain't balance. It's destruction. Scoring records shattered, defenses exposed, legacies humbled. Because once you add Jordan's relentless will to the NBA's softer, offense-first environment, the outcome is absolute annihilation. Rodman's words in this part cut deep, respectful toward LeBron but still sharp enough to sting. He doesn't deny LeBron's greatness, but when it comes to his personal top 3 of all time, LeBron's name ain't there. Instead, Rodman puts Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on that sacred list. And for LeBron fans, that omission is devastating, because Rodman isn't some TV pundit running his mouth for ratings. He's a man who lived Jordan's era, defended the toughest scorers alive, and shared the floor with the legends who set the bar. So when Rodman looks at the game and says Kobe, Magic, and Kareem belong above LeBron, that speaks volumes about how insiders who lived through the golden age view LeBron's legacy. Kobe earns his spot because he mirrored MJ's mentality, that killer instinct, that obsession with perfection, that hunger to destroy anyone who stood in his way. Magic gets his place because he revolutionized the point guard position, carrying an entire era with Showtime dominance and changing how the game was played. And Kareem, his skyhook was untouchable. His scoring record lasted for decades, and his mix of longevity and dominance was unmatched. These aren't just stat sheet legends. They redefine the game itself. And Rodman is clear. LeBron, despite all his accolades, doesn't belong in that same transcendent category. He's an all-time great, no question, but not the kind of figure who shifted the game's entire direction the way Kobe, Magic, and Kareem did. That's huge because LeBron's entire GOAT case is built on accumulation. The longest career, the most points, the stack of records. But greatness isn't just numbers. It's about impact. It's about fear. Kobe made opponents tremble before tip-off. Magic turned the NBA into a must-watch global spectacle. Kareem made defenders look helpless for nearly 20 years straight. And above them all sits Jordan, the god of basketball, untouchable at the very top. LeBron, for all his brilliance, still lacks that one defining trait: transcendence. That ability to not just play the game, but redefine it forever. Rodman's list is a brutal reminder. True greats don't just rack up stats, they leave scars on the sport itself. And then, Rodman doubles down saying, LeBron's a great talent, no doubt. He's probably one of the top 3 players that ever played with Kobe, Magic, Kareem. Coming from one of the NBA's most respected enforcers, that's powerful testimony. This ain't a fan debate. This is truth from a man who bled, battled, and triumphed in the crucible of Jordan's era. Rodman's words tie it all together. Jordan didn't beg for loyalty, he commanded respect. He didn't chase billionaire labels, he chased rings while being criminally underpaid. He dominated in the most brutal era of basketball, and in today's NBA he'd be averaging 50 with ease. And when that comes from Dennis Rodman, one of the most fearless, authentic voices the game has ever seen, it feels like the debate should be over once and for all. Rodman's top 3 list speaks volumes, and LeBron James ain't on it. That's not shade, that's just reality. Michael Jordan's greatness isn't only written in record books, it's burned into the memories of everyone who battled alongside him and against him. Rodman's words don't create a new truth. They reinforce what fans already know deep down. Jordan was different. Jordan was feared. Jordan was respected. Jordan is still the standard that every other player falls short of. LeBron is a legend, no doubt, but Jordan, untouchable. The gap between them can't be measured by stats or longevity or flashy narratives. It's measured in dominance, in legacy, and in the eternal respect of peers who saw him crush everything in his path. And as long as voices like Rodman's keep echoing through history, the truth will always ring the same. Jordan is the GOAT. Rodman breaks it down further, cutting straight to MJ's DNA, his leadership and his ruthless clarity of purpose. When he says Jordan only ever asked for 2 things, respect and money, that reveals the difference between him and nearly every modern superstar. Look around today's NBA. Stars demand teammates change their games, take fewer shots, or even accept diminished roles just to make one guy shine. LeBron has made a career out of reshaping rosters to fit his blueprint, from pushing the Cavs to bring in his chosen vets, to teaming up with Wade and Bosh in Miami, to restructuring entire franchises around his style. But Jordan, he never played that game. He didn't beg teammates to defer, didn't need validation from stacking rosters, and never obsessed with micromanaging everyone else's role. What he demanded was simple. Respect him and he'll give you greatness in return. Pay him fairly and he'll pay you back in championships. That mentality feels alien in today's league. No politics, no hidden agendas, no front office chess moves. Just accountability, raw competition, and an obsession with winning that nobody could match. And that's why, even in today's debates, the answer always circles back to the same truth Rodman laid out. Jordan didn't just play the game, he defined it. What do you think? Is Rodman right to leave LeBron out of his top 3? Or do you think LeBron deserves a spot among the icons? Let us know in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe, because this debate is far from over.